Well, you clicked on this video. I'm sure you're into Toyotas. I got some very exciting news for you. This Tacoma behind me, I'm giving away. One of you guys is gonna take this truck home. All you gotta do to get entered is head to my website, avrcustoms.com. Everything on the website is eligible for this giveaway, and all you gotta do is make a purchase from the website. Every $5 spent is an entry in to win this truck. Now, I've got a lot of questions on if I can ship. Yes, I can ship. You can either choose to come pick it up or I can ship. The giveaway is limited to the United States, and you have to be 18 years or older to be entered in to win this thing. Now, this is a true one-of-a-kind Toyota Tacoma. This is a 1999 with 160,000 original miles. I bought it from the original owner who kept this thing in a garage its entire life. It's had seat covers on the seats its entire life. This thing is literally immaculate. The frames on first gen sometimes do have rust problems. This one they've had coated many times, so this frame looks brand new. And I did do some work to this thing. It's got a coilover lift kit. It's got brand new wheels and tires, brand new exhaust. This thing is a perfect daily driver. Well, we got the Weiss 4Runner in the shop today. Originally, I mean, the reason I brought this thing in here was to do wheel bearings because I thought they were bad. So a little backstory. The driver's side, last time I had this thing on the lift, had a little bit of play, and it's got very low miles on the ball joint. So I figured it was probably wheel bearing play. And then on the passenger side, we got a strange like clicking noise, which almost sounds like a bearing noise. So I said, screw it, I ordered bearings, but now that I have it in the shop and I'm digging a little deeper in, the upper ball joint on the SPC control arms, I've already replaced these once before, and these arms don't have many miles on them. I've already replaced the ball joints. Apparently they're just cheap crap ball joints, but with these arms you have to run the SPC ball joints. So looks like where you need upper ball joints for sure. On the passenger side, I can't tell if it's wheel bearing noise or CV axle noise, but we have to do CV boots anyway. The inner boots, I did the CVJ boots. I think that's what they are, CVJ, the red ones. Those are holding up, but the outer boots, I can't remember if I've swapped those out, but they're both cracked and all the grease is gone. So either way, we need to tear this thing down for CV axle boots. So we're gonna do that, get the CV axles out, and then I'll kind of diagnose. If the noise goes away, then it's most likely the CV axle. It could just be out of grease, and hopefully we didn't ruin the CV axle. Either way, we got to figure out if we're doing wheel bearings or not. I mean, that was the original plan, but I mean, if they're not bad, I'm not going to go through and replace them because it is quite a bit of work on this thing. But either way, let's get these CV axles out, figure out what we're doing with wheel bearings, if we're doing that or not, and then I need to order upper ball joints. We need to do that for sure. All right, here's what we're working with. Got the CV axles out. You can see that boot's completely torn. That one is just about ready. You can see the cracks in the boot there. Actually, it is torn right there. And then I don't know, I think it is wheel bearings making noise. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but wheel bearings are definitely the source of the noise. That's the only thing spinning now. So we're just gonna go ahead and do bearings. So these are Honestly, they're not bad to do, except they're very, 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 very tight in the press to actually press the hub out of the bearing. Bearing out of the spindle isn't bad, but it's very tight. So either way, we got to pull these 4 bolts for the dust shield, get this thing set up in the press those out. We'll get new bearings in, get it all back together, and then we'll tackle CV axles. As far as ball joints, as soon as I got it off, I mean, it feels tight now, but I'm going to just wait till we get it all back together, and then I'll kind of check it again because I got a lot more leverage, you know, with the spindle on. But either way, whatever plays in there is very minimal. We might be doing ball joints, but let's get all this tackled, and then we'll figure out if we're doing ball joints. Well, if you guys are man enough to press these bearings out, I would highly suggest getting some 1-inch plate. You can see there, and it's basically pressing against the ears where the dust shield bolts on, so you make sure you got some meat there. And I've tried it with, you know, stacking like 1/4-inch plate. It doesn't work. It just bends the crap out of it. So we got that, and then some 4x6 blocks that are bolted together just to allow enough room underneath for that hub to drop down. So got a socket on top. We're gonna press and press until this thing breaks loose. It makes quite a loud explosion. As long as nothing goes flying, we'll be good. We'll press this bearing out, get the other hub assembly in, press the other hub out, and then we flip it over, press the bearings out, and then from there it's honestly pretty easy. It goes together really easy. This first press right here is so tight, it's honestly scary. Well, just like that, got all the bearings pressed out and got all these parts cleaned up. Now we got to go back together. So first things first, we got to get the bearings pressed into the spindle here, and then we'll get our snap ring, our outer seal on, and then we can get the hub pressed on. And then we also got to get the ABS ring and that spacer on the back side, and then we can get our rear seal on. And you gotta be careful. You gotta make sure you bolt on these brake covers onto the spindle before you press the hubs in, or else you're going to be running without them because you can't get these on once the hub is pressed in. So don't forget that. But first we'll get the bearings pressed in here. You can see there's 2 different sides to the bearing. The side that has like the heat shield on it will face outboard, so we'll just basically grease up the out of the bearing, grease up the inside bore of that, and then we'll press the bearing in just like that. Wheel bearings are done, and these are nice, tight, smooth, and quiet. So we're good to go there. Now let's replace the boots on the CV axles, and then we can get this entire thing back together. So a little something you may not know about lower ball joint bolts. There's two different styles. There's this style right here with the washer and the bolt without a flange, and then there's a flanged bolt, and they actually take different torque specs. This bolt right here is paired with a rubber boot. Well, you're not gonna be able to see it up there, but a rubber boot around the ball joint. This one torques to 37 foot-pounds, and the flange bolt actually torques like 59. For some reason, these ones torque quite a bit lower, so I'm using blue Loctite with 37 foot-pounds. We'll get these bolted in, then we can get rotors, calipers, and some cotter pins in here. And also, I did mess with this upper ball joint, and it is loose. It's just a little bit loose, so I'm just gonna order up new ball joints, and once we get those in, we'll swap those out. Pretty easy to do, just a nut on top, nut on bottom, and we'll swap that ball joint. And yes, I am well aware we need new tires. We're gonna pick up some new tires as well, and then once we get the new tires on, we're gonna go get it aligned, because you can obviously see the alignment is off on the front. Well, there we go. We're all back together. Fresh wheel bearings, fresh CV joints. Like I said, I got to order up ball joints and order up some tires, and this thing will be set. Everything else is pretty dialed in on it. One down, one to go. Got our new ball joints in. I'm not too sure how I feel about this updated design because they're not greasable. And last time I talked to SPC, they said the reason that these are going out is because I wasn't greasing them, which I was. But you can see grease zerk there on top. This new black design, I'm not sure what the internals look like as far as differences, but I can tell you what, that's not greasable. So I'm not too stoked about that, but either way, we got fresh ball joints we're going in, and then we got a set of tires because those things are completely shot. So let's get the other ball joint on. We got to go swap tires out, get this thing aligned, and we'll be dialed in. Well, here's our tires we got for the 4Runner. These are the same Cooper rugged track, the same tires that we threw on the Tacoma over there. These are so nice. These things ride so good. And these tires that are on there, as soon as they get worn like this, they get really loud. When they're brand new, they're not bad, but they get pretty loud. These ones are super nice riding, quiet tires. Let's get these mounted up, see how they look, and more importantly, see how the 4Runner drives with a fresh alignment and a fresh set of tires. Well, almost like magic, wheels and tires are mounted up and looking so much better with a fresh set of rubbers on those wheels. Now, am I just a tightwad, or is $180 a bit excessive for a mountain balance? I remember spending like 40-50 bucks just a couple years ago for mountain balance. I think it's time to buy a tire machine and a balancer. I am sick of paying so much just to get tires mounted. I think that's one of my next purchases. Well, imagine that. I can actually hear myself thinking here. These tires I swear, are so silent. I mean, yeah, they're brand new and tires do kind of once they wear, you know, like 50% tread, it seems like they get a little bit louder, but these things I love so much. Same tires I got on the Tacoma. Absolutely love them. They drive so nice, so quiet, so smooth. Well, that's a wrap, guys. 4Runner is dialed in. We got new tires, ball joints, which hopefully will last a little longer this time, and wheel bearings was the big one. I think the wheel bearings were pretty close to being real clunky, so glad we got that changed. Anyways, I'm out of here, guys. Why don't you go smash that thumbs up button, comment, subscribe. We'll catch you in the next one.